to Cookin with Dre. Today we'll be focusing on low country cuisine. You may be asking yourself, what is low country? Well, it refers to the area that stretches from Pawleys Island, South Carolina, down to the congruence of the Savannah River at the Georgia state line. But some people may argue that it stretches further north and further south and even more inland. The rich estuary provides an abundance of seafood, and the climate provides a nearly year-round growing season, providing such veg as broccoli, carrots, collards, corn, and tomatoes, among many other things. You may be thinking to yourself, don't other coastal towns have that same thing? Well, yes they do, but it's not just that makes up low country cuisine. It's the mixture of cultures that is settled in that area. Cultures are West African, French, English, and the Caribbean. It all makes up low country cuisine. People say it's similar to Creole, but the difference in vegetables that grow there is kind of what differentiates them. I lived in Charleston for 3.5 years and I fell in love with the cuisine immediately. Today I'd like to share some with you. I'll be making fried green tomatoes, pimento cheese, grilled corn and crab salad with a little remoulade. Enjoy. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our pimento cheese together. Here I have 1 8-ounce bar of your favorite cream cheese. You want to leave this out for a couple hours, get it nice and soft. Then here I have 2 cups of sharp shredded cheddar. We're going to add that. I like to mix this up first, that's where you get a nice base to add your other ingredients in there. So we'll kind of get a nice mixture of the cheese. It's going to take you about 30 seconds to a minute to do. Once we kind of have this mixture right there, we're ready to add in our pimentos. Here we have 1 8-ounce jar of pimentos that we're going to add in. We've strained these, got them as dry as possible. We'll mix that in. And at this point, we'll add in a half cup of mayo. Mix that in. Oh yeah. Then I have 1/4 cup of chopped scallion. We'll mix that. Here I have 1/2 teaspoon of granulated garlic and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Here I have 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. Put that in. And we'll hit it with a nice little pinch of salt, maybe a little pepper. We'll stir that up. We'll put this in our fridge and let it chill till we're ready to go. And an interesting fact about pimento cheese is how it became a low country staple. Back when people first settled down in South Carolina, you couldn't find pimento peppers. The only place was in Europe. And a man by the name of Nick Rangos used to order it, but it would become too expensive and he didn't want it to do a lot, so he learned how to grow the pimento peppers down in South Carolina. And for a while, he was the only man who would make it. And he had a secret recipe, and that's how it became a staple in Southern cuisine. Alright. That. Alright, so our next step, we're going to start our grilled corn salad. First thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and grill our corn. We're just going to hit it with olive oil. salt, a little pepper. And I'm going to take these outside and grill them. I'll be back in a minute. Our corn is not done. I've been cooking this for about 15 minutes out of my brick oven, also known as brick Jagger. I've used a little bit of hickory and redwood. Got a nice color here, got a nice smoky flavor. Really wish you could see the smell right now. So we're just going to set this aside, let it cool for a second. And our next step, here I have half of a large red onion of medium dice and 1 green pepper. We're going to saute this very quickly, kind of get some of these sugars released. So what we want to do there is we're going to make it nice and sweet because we're adding the juice of 3 limes. And you're asking yourself, oh my god, 3 limes? No, trust me, it'll be fine. With the sweetness of the corn, sweetness of the onion and pepper, it'll be awesome. So we'll just hit our pan with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Saute it real quick. Hit a little salt and pepper. Really, we're talking about 35-40 seconds in here max. So we're just going to go ahead and cut the heat. And we'll transfer it over to our bowl while it's still hot. I'll show you. So while that's there, we're going to add 1 cup of half grape tomatoes, fresh. At this point, we'll remove our kernels. From our cob here, we'll add it to our salad. And we want to do this while it's hot too, that way it kind of like melds everything together, and we can chill it in the fridge and make sure it gets down to temp. But I like to put it together hot. Now we'll add our corn to this. Do a quick stir. We're going to wait till the very end to season this. Alright, so that's where we're at. We got a green pepper, red onion, grape tomatoes, grilled corn. I'm going to do a quick chiffonade of about maybe 12 cilantro leaves. So I want to remind you, a chiffonade is when you layer leafy greens or vegetables and roll them and you cut perpendicularly. This technique can be done with basil, even lettuces, and especially cilantro today. So that's done. Put that in there. Now we'll add the juice of our 3 limes.
Well, I'm sick and tired telling you how to shake that thing. Look at the clock looks too. Baby, what you doing? It just won't do. You gotta shake that thing. You gotta shake that thing. Well, I'm sick and tired telling you how to shake that thing. Now, Jack and Jill went up the hill. Jill came down with $100 bill. She must have shook that thing.
Oh yeah.
She must have shook her thing. Well, I'm sick and tired.
Stir that around. Season up a little salt and pepper. Hit a little olive oil. About a tablespoon. And we'll stir this and we'll let it sit in the fridge until we're ready. Alright, so our next step, we're going to want to slice these green tomatoes so that we can fry them. So we're going to go ahead and take the tops off. And then we're going to want to slice them about 1/4 inch pieces. You could go a little thicker. 3/8, whatever. Just want to try to get them nice and flat. Okay, we're just probably going to have to fry only 2 or 3 of these tomatoes tonight. Alright, so this looks like a good amount for right now. But then we got these ends right here. And you're wondering, what are we going to do with these ends? You know, back when this cuisine was being created, they used everything. So let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to cut these up, add them with some other green tomatoes. We're going to make a chow chow, also known as piccalilli sauce, which is basically a green tomato relish. So we'll just dice these up pretty small. This is a recipe, is a great way to use your scraps. So we're only throwing away this much. So over here in this pot, I've added 2 cups of cider vinegar, 2 cups of granulated sugar, and I have a little sachet with 1 tablespoon of pickling spice. We just want to heat it up till everything gets melted, and we'll start adding our veg. Here I have about 3 green tomatoes with all the caps of everything I've used in there as well. We'll add that. Here I have a 1/4 of a head of shredded cabbage. We'll add that. Here I have half of a Vidalia onion. Two seeded and diced jalapenos, and 1 orange bell pepper. Normally I would use a red bell pepper, but orange is what they had, so we're going to throw it in there. We're going to hit it with a little salt and pepper. Then we're going to add 1/2 of a teaspoon of turmeric. Once I find it. Here we go.
I'll have you if you not to get back. You remember
Then we'll bring this up to about a medium heat. Give a nice stir to move everything around. Oh yeah. That's the start of it. Add 1/4 cup of salt. And give it a stir and we'll cook for 20 minutes. Here we have it. Piccalilli sauce. We've cooked this for 20 minutes at a medium high. As you can see, we're getting to a relish consistency. You can jar this and it'll last you a month in the refrigerator. But we're just going to push it to the back of the stove because it's probably about 1,000 degrees with all that sugar in there. And now we'll start trying to fry these green tomatoes. So our next step, we're going to fry these fried green tomatoes. But first I want to talk the breading method I use. Started them off by dredging them in a little all-purpose flour. Then I dunked them in an egg wash, which was about 2 eggs with a couple tablespoons of milk whisked in. And then for the breading, I used panko, about 1 cup to 1/3 cup of cornmeal. What the cornmeal does kind of helps hold the breadcrumbs on there a little bit. A lot of times you'll make these and your breadcrumbs will fall right off. So over here, I have about a 1/2 inch of vegetable oil at a medium heat in my heavy bottom pan. It's about ready to go. We're just going to go ahead and dunk them in. We can do about 4 or 5 at a time here. You don't want those to touch at all because they'll stick to each other. So I'll see you in a few minutes. So as you can see, these are nice golden brown. One thing I forgot to mention in the last segment is you're going to season your bread and cornmeal mixture with a little salt and pepper. And I hit it with a little salt and pepper after. But now we're ready for plating. So first thing I'm going to do, make a nice little bed of this corn salad on the bottom. And with this technique, the fried green tomatoes have a little place to lay, because before you know it, they're going to slide right off of a clean plate. What we're going to do for each one of these, a nice little dollop of pimento cheese on there. Serve about 4 per plate.
Never grumbles or fusses, always treats me right. Never running in the streets.
So now we're just going to top with a tiny little bit more of that corn salad. Get a nice little color on top.
Right there now in home, I got a woman way over town. That's good to me. Oh,
We're just going to hit a little crab
say I got a woman
right on top. And I'm going to do one without crab.
that's good to me.
We got someone who doesn't like seafood, and sometimes people don't, so
She's my baby.
we're going to do.
Don't you understand?
Right here I made a little remoulade real quick. And this is a mayonnaise-based sauce. I did about a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard, and I took about a tablespoon of that piccalilli sauce we had and I threw it in there too. So we'll just go with a little topper.
She's alright, she's alright. Whoa, yeah.
And we'll take a few of these cilantro leaves we had left over. A little garnish. And there we have it. A little taste of low country cuisine. Fried green tomatoes, pimento cheese, grilled corn salad, crab meat, remoulade. Enjoy.
You were born and I could see right through it. My eyes were open when I walked into it. It's too late now, I got used to it. Leaving me, you better not do it. I did it, okay, I did, okay,